What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is Chaos of Holidays. And by the way, happy holidays. Merry Christmas just passed, Happy Hanukkah that just passed, and Happy New Year that's coming up in a few days. And how chaotic are your holidays? What if chaos is not bad and wrong? Doesn't have to be good. And what if you can be happy during holidays and it's just holidays? You don't have to be like create disasters. Because for a lot of people, chaos means disaster. Chaos means havoc. What if it's not? I remember reading a book. Um, it, I love books on magic, books, movies, anything about fantasy, because to me that's more real than our reality. Because truth be told, magic is real, magic is everywhere, and abundance is everywhere. It's our own point of view that creates our reality. And it's about just being with what comes next. The holidays, usually it's time to celebrate. You get Hallmark holidays, you get all those cards, you got now e-cards, you get, and you have to send them. But do you? Do you actually have to do anything? What if you don't have to do anything? What if you can just be? Be with holidays as they come. And it doesn't mean no action, by the way. It's funny how we always assume if we're being, we're doing nothing. By the way, doing nothing is still doing. When you're vegetating, you're still doing. Being is actually chaos of choosing in the moment. How much your life would be happier, joyful, if you chose every 10 seconds? Let's play with it. And by the way, we are talking about access consciousness tool that was kind of like brought to us, and founder of access consciousness and co-founder of access consciousness, Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here. And we also will be talking about Akashic Records, which kind of came about since forever. Akashic Records been before the time. And I have my own school, Akashic School of Creation, where I do teach classes on Akashic Records, how to access them, and how to live happier lives by using tools of access consciousness and tools of Akashic Records. They are two different modalities. But today, before the holiday, I think we need double guns. That's just my personal take on it. So let's talk about access consciousness and the tool of living in 10 seconds increments. What if you don't have to kind of like stress out about what will happen when people come in? What if you just be in that 10 seconds? And what do you choose? And we're going to time it so I know exactly what's going on. So you don't have to kind of like, or at least pretend that We don't have problems right now. First thing first, let's expand because we cannot be when we are contracted. When we are contracted, we're actually in the process of reaction and doing. When we are expanded, that's a space of being. And it's hard to explain unless you actually experience that. So if you're not driving or operating heavy machinery, make yourself comfortable, like find a spot where you can sit or lay down. And we will play with first expansion and just open yourself up to energy of the universe. Imagine yourself that you are the universe. And you are. Actually, I ask you to imagine because it's easier to start with, but in reality, you are universe. You are the planets. You are everything. So just be that. See how fast you expand it when you imagine yourself, you are the universe. Hmm. And drop your barriers, by the way. Because as soon as I said, you are the universe, somehow you contracted. Nah, don't. Just expand and be that universe. And now from that space, choose something that will create more in your life, that will create joy and happiness. Yeah, I like that energy, don't you? Now choose something else, or you can choose the same thing. Oh, nice. Choose again, because 10 seconds just passed. And two, one, and choose again. See how easy it is? See the space it created? Did you stress? I didn't. Did you worry about what's next? I didn't. How much more can you actually do and create in a space of being? I'm just saying, what if you don't have to be that orderly? I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. What if it's just being? I love even how it sounds, the energy of being. That's where it starts. That's the chaos. Because chaos is part of creation. Remember the Big Bang Theory when everything exploded? That was chaos. That was not order. That one point was order. When it all went, that was chaos. Chaos is about creation. So, how much are you refusing creation? How much are you refusing chaos because you actually misidentified that as disaster or havoc? Just be with that. Chaos is when we go into physics. I like science. To me, science is magical, especially when we go into living being, plants, animals, humans, doesn't matter. Or if we go on subatomic level, the quantum mechanics, it's all magical. There is no other way to say it except, wow, this is magic. Because atoms in any crystalline structure, even if you have ice, which is solid, and right now I'm looking, it's so beautiful out there. We had first snow in Chicago, and now it's melting. But through that haze of little fog, I can see the white. And the snow and the ice are solid. They have crystalline structure. So it's not moving, you say. But when we look under an electronic microscope, it's actually vibrating at a very high level. And all the atoms moving, the electrons are moving around the nucleus. Everything is in motion and it's very chaotic. Um, I think it's called Bromian movement or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I'm not good with names. It's more about just moving because all the molecules moving randomly, all the atoms moving randomly. Some of them even being in crystalline structure, they're still moving, maybe slower. And that actually brings me to the point when we are solid, when we contract, instead of being that space of chaos, when we contract, we start moving very slowly through our lives, through everything. Because in order to create something greater, we have to move extremely fast. And we can. Our molecules can move very fast. So can we. But when we solidify, even our molecules start to slow down. And that's where aging starts. That's when we start killing our body because we use so much energy to contract, to keep us slow, and we have to move against that solid wall. So we're pretty much banging our head against a solid wall. How much creation can we do? Nothing, or very little. That's why a lot of times it takes us backwards and starts killing our body because we feel like we don't have a choice. We don't have anywhere to go. We're stuck. And yes, we are stuck because we created the stuckness. So, what if you let go of that stuckness right now? At least for the next 10 seconds. And by the way, now you can take that stuckness back and you can choose in 10 seconds increments. So, take that stuckness now and now let it go. What if you don't have to hold on to everything? What if you can have the problem and then let it go for 10 seconds and see what that will create in your life? Even if you let it go in your mind, it actually can and will shift things in your life. And time flies. It's time for our first break of the show. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our radio show is Chaos of Holidays. And how much are we refusing that chaos? We were actually talking about that before. And it was about creating more in your life. But we have so much baggage coming into the holidays, especially this year. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world right now, because we're so used to being with family. We're so used to being with everybody we love, hugs, kisses. I was watching a movie yesterday. As I said, I like fantasies. I like books with fantasy. And that was different dimension, well, it's the same planet. But all the adults were gone and only kids were left. And suddenly an adult comes into that city and the little girl looks at her and is like, "Can I have a hug?" It was such an amazing moment where that woman hugs the little girl. And in our world of social isolation right now, there is so much fear that prevents people from hugging, from kissing, from touching. How much of that is actually prevents us from being happy, and how much that actually lowers our immunity, especially during the holidays, because the expectation is the hugs and kisses. And that's the chaos. But we have right now the order not to hug, the order to be isolated. What if we let go of that? And I started talking about the baggage because there is so much hurt with virus, with vaccine. There is so much fear, there is so much programming that we carry with us. And that's the baggage that we can kind of like let go right now. And one of the tools I'd like to talk about is from Akashic Records. It's forgiveness. You would say, but there is nothing to forgive. Yeah, but it's not just this lifetime. And one of the things that somehow, somewhere, we probably created some order that playing out somewhere, somehow now. And we are blaming ourselves. A lot of it is unconscious. We blame ourselves in the relationships. We blame ourselves with our money problem. We blame ourselves in so many things. And there are people that blame us. They kind of like, some of them make us feel guilty for what we did or didn't do. So the forgiveness is not about the religious aspect of it. If somebody hits you, you turn the other cheek. No, this is totally different. This is about letting go of those feelings, the negative feelings, the negative emotions that you have regarding somebody else or even yourself. How often did you hurt yourself? Oh my God. Oof, so much energy coming up. So what if you bring all of that and let it go? Doesn't mean you will allow people to hurt you. because that will create another cycle. And then you have to forgive again. This is not about that. This is about letting go of the toxin in your body, toxin in your mind that's not allowing you to be and create more. So the forgiveness is a prayer that allows us to clear it much easier than we would have done. It's not about, oh, I choose to forgive. Yeah, you can, and it probably will work, but how often does it? The prayer has a vibrational frequency that allows us to move forward instead of backwards. And the forgiveness is, I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. How do you feel right now? Because forgiveness has three aspects. One is where we hurt somebody else or something else, when something or somebody hurt us, and when we hurt ourselves. All of that is kind of like pieces of the puzzle. Because as we talked, I think in the last show or maybe a couple of shows before, human being has a tendency of hurt themselves through the thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Because we have that thought process. Oh my God, I'm hurt. Oh, I'm hurt because I'm thinking I'm hurt. I'm feeling hurt, so, and so on and so forth. And it's like a snowball. It creates so much angst and so much that guilt, shame, blame, and regret that turns against ourselves on a physical level. So let's do it again. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, heard, to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. How do you feel right now? And one of the suggestions when I teach Akashic Records classes is to say that prayer 9 to 10 times in the morning and in the evening, and anytime you desire. It shifts whatever you need to shift. And you might not even think that there is a forgiveness there that's required. But pretty much everything in our life requires forgiveness. When we get upset, there is always something that we're upset with. And that upset has some blame in there. In any problems, there is always, we find the fault, either ours or somebody else's. It's about, I apologize. It's about looking in our lives at every aspect, of our lives, we can use forgiveness. I love the comment. I can only stay with it for about halfway through. Yeah, because how much are we holding on to that and not allowing ourselves to let go of those things? And how much easier our life would be if we actually let it go? How valuable is it to us? How much of that creates that order of, oh, never, ever, ever be great. Never, ever, ever have a good life. Never, ever have a healthy life. Never have joy. Never have happiness. Or at least not to the extent that you can. There is that measure, not to be like, not to be more than anybody else, or be a little bit more, but not as great as you can possibly be. So again, I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, being seen, hurt to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, being seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. Wow, it's shifting some, but there is still so much more that we can shift. This is a show before the new year of 2021. I would like to take this time to clear the patterns of the past, patterns of this year, COVID, the social isolation, um, the not being able to travel, not being able to be with loved ones, and especially during the holidays. It's time for our second break of the show. And when we return, we'll use more prayers and more tools to shift and change this year so we can go to 2021 with totally new and clean slate. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time. This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich. I'm Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is chaos of holidays. And with chaos, it's about creation. It's about something new. It's about being pretty much the space of joy is. It's about us choosing more for us. And that's why I'm choosing before the new year to clear some of the things that not allowing us to move forward. So especially with COVID and social isolation, I would like to do a prayer of forgiveness for Earth, because Earth's been taking on a lot of that shit that's been going on for centuries, for millennia, from all the wars, from all the anger, from everything that people create. It does take some joy, and that balances it. So the more joy we have, the more fun we have, the more laughter we have, the more we are healing Earth. So that prayer came out just to cleanse Earth, to allow, because all the prayers are just vibrational frequency. And their intention is to clear. So what contribution can we be to Earth today? That's what I've been asking every single day. And that's part of Access Consciousness tools, being the question. And that prayer kind of like came up to do the radio show with the prayers instead of Access tools. Well, we are using some Access tools as well. And that one particular I'd like to use right now. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask to cleanse Earth from anything that was done to anyone or anything on the face of the Earth that Earth took on through all time, space, dimension, or reality. We ask forgiveness to flow through the crevices of Earth to cleanse Earth from any patterns of despair and evil. Because there is so much evil in the world, and there is so much despair, especially now, before the new year. So what if the next year, 2021, will be totally different? What if the new year will bring more joy, more laughter, more happiness? And by the way, I'll tell you a secret. Those are just your choices. You can choose that, or you can choose despair. What if it's that simple? Just say, I'm done with evil. I'm done with despair. I'm done with sadness. I'm done with depression. I'm choosing joy, because that's how we can contribute to our wonderful, beautiful planet that's been taking care of us throughout millenniums. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask to cleanse Earth from anything that was done to anyone or anything on the face of the Earth that Earth took on through all time, space, dimension, or reality. We ask forgiveness to flow through all the crevices of Earth to cleanse Earth from any patterns of despair and evil. Just breathe in joy. And how many of you contracted when I was talking about despair and evil? How much are you afraid of those? Yeah, they're big if you're small. But what if you are that space that we started with this radio show? That you are the universe. And just expand it again. and be that universe, be those galaxies. Much easier. And from that space, let's say those prayers. Let's play with them because we are much greater. And there is a prayer actually of embracing everything we are. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source. We ask that the part that we disavowed to be affirmed and allowed to be part of what we are, to be embraced in the field of love and infinite creation, so we can be the infinite being we truly are and infinite possibilities of everything we are. So, how much are you refusing to be that? What if you can just shake off everything that's not you and forgive yourself for not being you? What if that forgiveness prayer is something that can get you free? Or maybe another prayer. Let's play with forgiveness a little bit more. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. Just listen for a second to everything that I just said. And you might need to listen to this radio show one more time or a couple more times. Because a lot of times when we need to let go, it doesn't take just once or twice or three times. And yet you can choose to let it go instantly. That's the beauty of our intention. That's the beauty of what we choose. And now with the holidays coming, what if you chose chaos of being expanded, the chaos of joy? Because joy, happiness, they cannot be confined or ordered. Think about it for a second. When you're happy, can anybody confine you? You are expanded instantly when you are in a space of joy. It doesn't have to be ecstatic joy. It can be quiet joy. And yet you're still expanded. When you are in a space of blame, when you're in a, and those are actually programming. They are not spaces of being. They are actually places of where you do the blame and shame. And when you do the guilt, because those are doing, those are reactions. Those are not space of being. Space of being is a joy. Space of being is happiness. And a lot of times we tie ourselves down with those. And I'd like to clear the energy of the past before the new year starts. And that's another prayer. Release me from the ties that bind me, that tie me to this earthly plane of existence and despair. Untie me from the ties that do not allow me to fly and disconnect me from the world of despair and judgment. Allow me to be all that I am. Give me back my strength to create heaven on earth. Because when we are that joy, when we are not tied down with all those emotions and feelings of despair, we actually start creating heaven on earth. That's what consciousness is. When we're conscious, when we are in that space of joy, happiness, nothing can harm us. It's our choice to get out of it that harms us. Because it's not what the other people doing. It's not what they're saying. It's our choice how to react to it. That's what creates that havoc and disaster and the contraction and despair and evil. If we don't react, if we act, because there is a difference between reaction and action. When we are in a reactive mode, we go into those emotions of, could be anger, could be blame, could be guilt, could be anything. Those are reactions. And we've programmed ourselves, or somebody else programmed us with those reactions. Or if somebody judges us, we go into trying to analyze it. Are they correct? Are they right? What if everything that they say or do are pretty much lies? I'll say it again. What if everybody's judgments are nothing more than lies? And they are. And that's when the forgiveness actually helps to clear that and get out of that reactive mode. And the reaction and action could look the same. You might scream and yell at somebody when they hurt you. The difference between action, you choose what will create more. And sometimes walk away creates more. And sometimes yelling and punching somebody will create more. It's about knowing what you require in the moment. Versus reaction, you just react, no matter what's going on. Will it create greater or not? You react. You might yell, you might walk away, but you do not sense you don't sense what's required because you're in a reactive mode, you're in contraction. So before we go on our third and final break of the show, I'm going to say forgiveness once more. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, and heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. And time flies, and it's time for our third and final break of the show. And when we return, we'll talk more about chaos of holidays. And you've been listening to me, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Creating Abundance with Ease on the Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. on inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show is Chaos of Holidays. And happy holidays, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today and just to wish you all the best in the new year. That everything that you desire, everything that you're actually asking for. And by the way, this is a trick to ask for what you desire. Because universe have no idea what you desire, just like your spouse, your significant other. They don't know what you desire for the gift. But if you tell them, they'll get it, most likely, if it's kind of like in their budget. Universe has infinite budget. Universe is so abundant. The only one that is limiting the receiving is us. We are the ones saying, oh, no, I have to receive it this way. Oh, no, I don't deserve. Oh, no, I'm not worth it. And of course, universe looks at that and it's like, okay, so what if this year, this holiday, you actually expand yourself into the chaos of creation and create your life in a different way. Create your life from just asking. Ask and you shall receive. That's the truth. That's in the Bible. That's everywhere where you look. Ask and you shall receive. Because we have the value, and there is a prayer to kind of like embrace it. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask that we see and know our value, our worth, our needs and desires, so we can create the generosity of spirit in the world that we are. Because when we know our value, we actually can create more. People say, oh, you have to be modest or humble. That's another word. But the truth is, people who are arrogant actually don't believe they have worth. They are projecting out the order that they are worth it. In reality, it's not about that. People who actually know their worth, they're much more humble than the person who doesn't know their worth or doesn't believe in their worth. They're trying to prove that they're worth something. What if you don't have to prove anything to anyone and just know it and receive it? Because chaos is about receiving everything. Chaos is about choosing more and choosing to be. And so when we clear our energy of the past, when we clear the forgiveness and embrace our worth, how much more can we create? And our show, I know I just had a reminder that our show is coming to the end. We have maybe 5 to 6 minutes left. But I'll be coming back next week with post-apocalypse of holidays. Because we know that holidays can be harsh and holidays can be difficult. What if they're not? And what if you don't have to suffer after holidays? You don't have to have hangovers. You don't have to be sick after holidays or be depressed after holidays. Oh, I had so much fun and now it's our weekdays and no fun in the near future. No, this is more about Again, choosing every 10 seconds. And what if you chose happiness? What if you chose joy every single moment of your life? How much your life would be different? How much more can you create? And I'm so used to facilitating classes around the world now, with not being able to go to Europe or to Asia or to South America. Things are opening up online. So there would be quite a few classes coming up, and you're welcome to join them. I'm doing foundation literally next week. It starts on January 8 to 11. And that is a 4-day access consciousness class that you take after bars class. And if you never had your bars run, please, please, please go get them run. There is also 1 day intensity of being class that's going to be on January 23rd. It's one of the Being You adventures where there is no prerequisites. And we are going to do lots of clearing with access consciousness. There is a body class in Chicago area on February 5 through 7. And there is going to be Akashic Records classes in the mid-February. And you can find out all of those classes and information about them on my website, Creating Abundance with Ease. So how much more can you change in your life if you chose to be you? If you chose the space that is more of who you are, not the lies, not the guilt, not the anger, not any of those feelings and emotions that hold you back. And I know we have a couple of minutes left. I just want to do a little bit more for the earth, because I'd like to see that planet survive all of that disaster. There is a lot of earthquake. There was an earthquake yesterday in Slovenia. Pretty, I think it was like over 6.2 or 6.8. And that's kind of like part of all those emotions that's stuck in earth, all those feelings, anger, all those feelings of hurt, hate, racial or otherwise. So let's do that prayer before we end. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask to cleanse earth from anything that was done to anyone or anything on the face of the earth that earth took on through all time, space, dimension, or reality. We ask forgiveness to flow through all the crevices of earth, to cleanse earth from any pattern of despair and evil. And once more, Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask to cleanse earth from anything that was done to anyone or anything on the face of the earth that earth took on through all time, space, dimension, or reality. We ask forgiveness to flow through all the crevices of earth, to cleanse earth from any patterns of despair and evil. So happy holidays, everyone. That concludes our show for today. But please join us next week for post-apocalypse of holiday. And we will play more. And you can always find me around on the internet right now. Maybe not so much around the world. And happy holidays again. And I hope to see you someday either online or in person. You take care. Happy viewing.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.